Please subscribe my channel. Imagine this heart-wrenching moment that changed everything. She looked me straight in the eye and declared she wouldn't pick me if she had the chance to start over. In that instant, I quietly stood up from my chair and walked away without a single word. I never saw that statement coming with such impact. Not because it was harsh or shouted, but because it arrived so peacefully, almost like a casual update on the forecast. We faced each other across a modest walnut table tucked in the quiet rear nook of a charming coffee shop in Portland's northeast neighborhood that we both adored. Her name is Sophia. Mine is Ethan. We'd shared our lives for 9 years. Plenty of time to memorize one another's preferred brews effortlessly. Plenty of time to overlook the tougher discussions we should have had. Sophia swirled her beverage gently, gazing at the swirling cream, and stated, "If I could decide all over again, I wouldn't select you." There was no rage, no sobbing, just absolute conviction. Suddenly, the bustle around us continued, yet deep within me, everything halted. I gave a slight nod, not in agreement, but simply because my mind couldn't process anything else. I always imagined relationships ended with dramatic noise. Arguments, doors banging shut, voices rising high. Yet this felt entirely different. It was a gradual wearing away, silent and steady. Weeks turning into months of minor rejections, overlooked looks, talks that ended too soon. I'd convinced myself it was temporary, job pressures, life adjustments. I persisted in appearing, in adapting, in yielding, believing true dedication required perseverance. If you've lingered in a bond far beyond its spark, hoping your investments would eventually pay off, you know exactly that exhausting calculation. You pour in extra, anticipating equilibrium down the road. It seldom arrives. And if this hits close to home right now, show some love with a like. It could help this reach someone else grappling with the same quiet struggle. We crossed paths in our early to mid-20s. Sophia possessed this gentle allure, endlessly fascinated by the world, forever probing deeper with her questions. I offered more stability, a calmer presence, the type of guy who establishes dependable habits and honors commitments. She once shared how that sense of security made her feel protected. Over time, though, that protection morphed into monotony in her view, even if she never voiced it directly. I made efforts to open up, not with grand gestures or demands, but through sincere, soft-spoken truths. I sense we're pulling apart. I long for that closeness again. Every attempt met with understanding nods and assurances of deeper talk soon. But soon never materialized. The gap between us turned courteous. And that's the riskiest shift of all, when built-up frustrations hide behind polite smiles. Right there at that coffee shop table, her declaration finally outlined the slow unraveling that had been unfolding for so long. She wasn't wavering. She wasn't doubtful. She'd emotionally departed long before, without ever rising to leave. The real shock wasn't the ache itself. It was the sudden sharpness of understanding. An unexpected comfort washed over me in finally grasping the reality without endless searching for answers. My eyes drifted to her fingers, the very ones I'd clasped in busy crowds, and it dawned on me I was bargaining with someone already at peace with letting go. Stop for a second and share below. Has anyone delivered a painful truth so serenely that it stung deeper than any outburst could? I held back from debating. I skipped the pleas for explanations. I refrained from reciting my sacrifices like proof. In that profound second, it hit me. Trying to persuade someone to want you defeats the essence of being truly wanted. True regard doesn't thrive amid begging. So I rose. I slid my chair back softly. I placed money down for my barely sipped drink. Sophia glanced up, caught off guard, seemingly anticipating a lengthy discussion. I provided nothing of the sort. Quiet was the purest reply I could muster. Stepping away weighed more heavily than remaining ever did. Every stride bore the burden of 9 years filled with cozy routines, private laughs, dreams now destined to fade unused. Yet hidden under that load emerged a fresh sensation, room to breathe, reclaimed honor, the serene peace that arrives when you cease battling what's real. Stepping outdoors, the breeze hit with renewed intensity. I inhaled more fully than I had in ages. Victory wasn't mine. Completion was. And in those raw times, completion can be profoundly sufficient. Society often portrays power as dominating debates, but true power can shine in holding back. It appears in opting for quiet over drama, in setting limits instead of over-explaining. It manifests in believing that departing without fanfare remains a bold move of bravery, particularly when your soul aches and your dignity holds firm with silent strength. As we dive deeper into this journey, comment the word clarity if you feel stepping away honors your worth. That evening, I avoided heading straight to my place. I meandered along familiar paths we'd once explored aimlessly in Portland's vibrant districts, past illuminated windows showcasing glimpses of strangers' warm existences. Envy didn't touch me. Anger stayed away. Instead, I observed from afar, like awakening from an extended performance and truly noticing the world beyond the stage. Sophia stayed silent, no messages came. I hadn't anticipated any. Hush had long been our unspoken dialect. This time, however, it didn't choke me. It felt refreshing. I recognized how frequently I'd rushed to bridge silences with my own efforts, merely to escape unease. Now, I allowed the stillness to simply be. Returning to my home, overlooked details stood out sharply after years of neglect. The tranquility without constant expectation lingering. The relaxation in my body as I dropped my keys. That night brought profound rest, free from replaying dialogues or planning revised responses for the next day. No future negotiations loomed. In the following days, friends and family posed gentle inquiries. You holding up? What went down? My replies stayed straightforward, not minimizing the depth, but releasing the urge for external approval. Certain heartbreaks require privacy more than an audience. Reflections flooded in on decisions, on how affection isn't measured solely by duration. Lingering for years doesn't guarantee being cherished. When someone states outright they wouldn't select you anew, honoring that truth becomes a powerful act of self-love. There's a common misconception that departing quietly signals indifference. Experience has taught me the reverse. Exiting without chaos frequently reveals profound investment. You valued it enough to avoid reducing shared pain to spectacle. You respected the authenticity, even in its conclusion. If these words touch a chord within you, pass this along to anyone enduring a bond that's quietly dissolved. Often, seeing your own reflection offers more healing than any words of wisdom. About 7 days passed before Sophia finally messaged. Brief words. I never imagined you'd truly walk out that way. I reviewed it a couple times. No reply came, not from resentment, but because the window for meaningful exchange had closed. True resolution doesn't always demand words. At times, it emerges from steadfastly upholding your limits. I began reshaping my routine, not with bold overhauls, but through gentle habits. Dawn strolls, preparing favorite dishes without negotiation, declining invites guilt-free. I saw clearly the vast effort once poured into earning her choice, rather than prioritizing my own. That's when a vital insight crystallized. Love's true counterpart isn't hatred. It's apathy. And self-regard's foe isn't frailty. It's forsaking yourself. I'd surrendered pieces of me gradually, courteously, across those years. Rising from that coffee shop table marked the moment I finally chose to remain with myself. Join the discussion below. Can quiet hold greater strength than confrontation in safeguarding your dignity? Share your thoughts, yes, no, and why. I share this not claiming flawlessness. Far from it. Bonds dissolve for countless causes, and accountability rarely falls entirely on one side. Yet this truth stands firm. Nobody should ever feel like a backup option in a commitment they're giving wholeheartedly. These days, when sharing a table with another, I tune in differently. I value steady actions over verbal vows. I observe if affection arrives unprompted. Above all, I hate the signals when someone reveals their true regard for me. Sophia once inquired what I sought in partnership. Back then, clarity escaped me. Today, it doesn't. I crave reciprocal selection, unspoken faithfulness, genuine effort without persuasion, and the bravery to depart if those essentials vanish once more. If you've stayed with me this far, perhaps you're navigating your own hushed crossroads. Maybe no dramatic betrayals, or explosive conflicts have marked your path, just a gradual dimming in another's world. If that resonates, know this: you're entitled to rise and leave without justification. As we wrap up, leave a single word in the comments describing what you'd embrace if you fully honored your inner voice today. And if this tale moved you deeply, hit like, drop your reflections below, and hit subscribe. Not solely for similar heartfelt accounts, but for building a space around dignity, insight, and boldly selecting yourself unapologetically. Help me reach 7,000 subscribers. Back this with a like and let me know your views in the comments. I respond to all. Thanks so much.